FPL Game Week 10 final team selection decisions. In today's video, we're going to go through all the injury updates from the incredibly unhelpful managers that we have in the Premier League who don't really tell us any of the injury news that we really want. But we'll go through what we did get. We'll talk about captaincy. We'll talk about some hot topic questions you are asking going into the Game Week 10 deadline. We'll have a look at some potential players to buy across all of the positions in goalkeeper, defenders, midfielders and forwards. And we'll have a look at my team and we will talk about whether Erling Haaland might still leave before the deadline for Mo Salah. What is up everyone, FPL Harry here. Before we dive in, 2,000 likes is the aim. Subscribe if you are new around here, and another deadline is approaching. Before we dive in, if you do like these videos and you like last little bits of news, I provide them here, but also if you want a very quick newsletter sent to your email, this video is being sponsored by Lazy FPL. It literally takes 5 or 10 seconds to sign up. You just put your email in, nothing more. They send you an email every week with the last bits of injury news, the last bits of dilemmas to maybe help you. I use it every single week. Check out the link in the description, put your email in and sign up as well. But diving in, the number one question that we're going to have a look at, of course, is should you be selling Erling Haaland to Mo Salah? And the really boring answer to this question is there is no correct answer to this decision at the moment. There will be a correct answer once we've had a few weekends of football. There might be one that scores better, but going into this weekend, there is no way I can recommend, yes, this is definitely what you need to do, or yes, you should definitely keep Haaland, or yes, you should definitely keep Salah. We just don't know that. If in your gut you think Haaland is the best option, then absolutely keep him. If you think Haaland is not performing at the 15.4 million price tag that he is at the moment, then yes, you can go and sell him and buy Mo Salah. If you want to build a team in that has both of them, you can absolutely go and do that. If you want neither of them, you can go and do that as well. Personally, I think that Palmer and Saka plus one of Haaland or Salah is the best team structure for the long run. You just have to decide which of them you are most comfortable going without. And yes, you might want to play the game to score the most points, but some of us don't want to have stress-filled weekends by not owning Erling Haaland when he's 150% owned every single week, and that might have an impact on your decision. I think it is worth saying though, this is not a clear-cut decision, which means yes, you can sell him. I'm not going to stop you selling Haaland, and I might still do it before the deadline. Some of you might think I'm just putting it in my videos for the sake of getting people to view the videos and to get interactions, but I'm absolutely not. I'm the closest to selling Haaland now than I have ever been, apart from when he's got injured. This is the closest I've ever been to selling a fully fit Haaland since he has joined the Premier League. So he is on my radar to sell. I cannot recommend it either way, but it is absolutely something that is not crazy to do if you decide to do it. Next up, one of the biggest questions is Dominic Solanke and Solanke Calvert-Lewin, the double Doms who are not performing well at the moment. Yes, for me, they are both sells, but it's which I would sell first. If you only own Solanke or you only own Calvert-Lewin and you want to sell either of them, yes, I would sell them. But if I owned both, I think Calvert-Lewin would be the one that I would sell first. We're expecting Son Heung-min back for Spurs. They also have Ipswich at home next weekend. So keeping Solanke for a couple of games is better than keeping Calvert-Lewin. But if you need the money from Solanke, then of course you can go and sell him first as well. Moving on to captaincy, Haaland and Salah are head and shoulders above the rest. It is very, very close between the two. At the moment, I do currently have Erling Haaland just number one, but I do think it is really close. It probably will dictate which way I go with my transfers this week if I do think Salah is slightly better. Of course, does have that fixture at home to Brighton this week. Then we have Cole Palmer coming in number 3. It would be slightly higher if Manchester United hadn't sacked Erik ten Hag this week. We've then got Bukayo Saka coming in number 4 and a fit Heung-min Son who is likely to feature for Spurs coming in at number 5. Looking at a little bit of injury news, starting off at Nottingham Forest, Chris Wood was flagged for the week, but we are expecting him to be okay. Nuno Espirito Santos, the Nottingham Forest manager, did say that there are a few bits of injuries. A few players had some knocks. One of them is Chris Wood, but we did see him being interviewed on the Friday night after the game. He said it was just a kick. He did expect to be okay. He's had over a week's rest because they played on the Friday. And we have seen a little bit of an interview with him talking about his season so far, and he looks to be okay. So we are expecting Chris Wood to be fine. Next up is Gabriel, where Arteta gave absolutely nothing away, as you would expect. He was not the least most helpful manager this weekend. Eddie Howe also gave nothing away on Anthony Gordon or Alexander Isak. Gabriel was said they have a training session this afternoon. If he completes that, then he should be okay. The thing to note on Arsenal, though, is they will travel to Newcastle tonight on Friday evening. we should get some sort of traveling squad either tonight or tomorrow morning before the deadline. So if you own Gabriel, I would be keeping him. And then Son, he missed out midweek and was a doubt. Of course, he didn't play last weekend, but Ange said that he trained on Friday. If he trains as well on Saturday, he will be available for selection. We are expecting Son back for Spurs, which is a massive boost for them. Then looking at defence, another incredibly unhelpful press conference, this time from Pep Guardiola. When he was asked about his injuries, he basically said, "I'm not going to tell you. You will see it tomorrow. Listen, I have many doubts. Most of them are half and half, 50-50. Tomorrow, you will know it when the team sheet comes out. We don't know on Gvardiol. We doubt we're going to see anyone from Savio play, but Gvardiol, we just don't know at the moment. I probably guessed that it'll end up being okay, but it is a guess at the moment, and we just don't know. Maybe we'll get training photos or something this afternoon, but I can't offer many more options than that. Maybe we get some early team news, given that Manchester City play at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Van de Ven is going to be out until after the international break, which is a boost to someone like an Ollie Watkins and Morgan Rogers, or potentially a Delap or Leif Davies next week as well. They are massively worse defensively when he is not there. He has a slight hamstring injury. It's not long-term, but should be out of both game week 10 and 11. Finally, is Lewis Dunk at Brighton, of course, goes up. It's not so relevant for owners, but he goes up against Liverpool and then Manchester City in the next 2 weeks. Is likely to be out until at least after the international break. That's what The Athletic reported, but then in the press conference, they said they still need to assess him. So he's not officially ruled out, but The Athletic reported that he should be back after the international break. A few more bits of injury news, starting off at Crystal Palace. A similar case we have is Eze. They also are likely to be out without Adam Wharton as well, which is a massive negative for them. Eze also likely to be out for after the international break, which does boost the teams going up against them, which is the very highly spoken about Wolves this week. Maybe you're looking at Aït-Nouri or Cunha. Next up, we return to talking about Martin Odegaard. He is not back this weekend. He may well be back in the squad for the Champions League midweek. He might be back in the squad in game week 11, but he should be back for the nice run of fixtures they have starting in game week 12 after the international break. Arsenal are finally returning to almost a fully fit squad. And then we have a look at McNeil. He has not trained fully so far this week. Sean Dyche said he's been with the physio, so it does look like he is a considerable doubt going into the weekend. He didn't want to rule him out though, says there is still a chance if he does get involved in training, but he hasn't done it so far this week. Having a look at top players to buy then, we're going to start in goal, and we have a longer list because there's no one obvious to buy. I still think David Raya is the best long-term goalkeeper with the fixtures they've got coming up and the returnees they have from injury. I'm actually going with Onana second with the best long-term fixtures, and new manager coming in potentially could boost them a little bit. We've got Sells in at number 3, some good short-term fixtures, but maybe some more difficult ones on the horizon. Then you have Sanchez and Verbruggen, both with difficult fixtures over the next couple, but from game week 12 will absolutely be goalkeepers we are looking to buy. We've also heard from the Chelsea manager that he says that Sanchez is number 1 despite a couple of errors recently. Then we're going to have a look in defence. Aït-Nouri goes to number 1 despite being on 4 yellow cards. Konate in at number 2. I really like him. If you can get up to a Trent or a Van Dijk and you want to spend the money there, I won't put you off it, but I love Konate at 5.3 million. Gabriel is in next because of the very slight doubt is why he's slightly lower down the list. We've got Rico Lewis in at number 4, and then we've got Diego Dalot in at number 5. I find defenders really difficult to recommend, though, this week that aren't Aït-Nouri and then are Konate at the moment. Those would be the two that I'd really be looking to buy this week. Moving to midfield, there are not many midfielders to buy outside of the big four. The big four being Mo Salah in at number 1, Cole Palmer in at number 2, Brian Mbeumo in at number 3, just above Bukayo Saka. And then I've gone with Jared Bowen. The fixtures are turning to look quite nice. He's on penalties for them as well and has been pretty consistent with 3 goals, 3 assists so far this season. There are some cheaper options in the likes of Buenanotte, in the likes of Morgan Rogers, in the likes of Smith Rowe that you could potentially go and have a look at, even Damsgaard, but none of them are really fantastic. A bit of a differential just to shout out though is Matheus Nunes and Manchester City. He is likely to start the next couple while they have injuries, should be good for game week 10 and 11, but of course might cause you issues further down the line when the likes of Doku, when the likes of Grealish, maybe even Kevin De Bruyne come back and add a bit of rotation into that Manchester City team. Of course, Kevin De Bruyne not expected back until after the international break alongside those others as well. Moving up front, we've got Cunha of Wolves, Visa in at second at Brentford. Really like those top two. I would go with them over Chris Wood just because of the fixtures starting to turn a little bit for Wood. Visa and Brentford look like they score a lot of goals, and I've spoken so much about how much I love Matheus Cunha so far this week. We've gone with Raul Jimenez as another cheap option. Danny Welbeck will be on this list from game week 12 onwards, but for now, if I was buying, I'd go with Jimenez, who are at home to Brentford, who have conceded a lot of chances this season. And then at number 5, we're going with Jackson of Chelsea again. The next couple of Man United and Arsenal are not great, but from game week 12, he will be a top prospect and one a lot of us will be looking to buy and double up with Cole Palmer. Having a look at the projections for this week from Rob T FPL, we do actually have Liverpool projected to score more goals than Manchester City, although Liverpool do share the goals around slightly more, whereas Haaland will likely be more involved than maybe Mo Salah will, which is why I'd probably still give Erling Haaland the captaincy, although it is close. They both also have the highest chance of a clean sheet this week. Arsenal also up there with 31%. If you are faced with a benching dilemma of something like a Mykolenko, a Gabriel and a Ryan Aït-Nouri, for me, Mykolenko is the one that drops to the bench with the away fixture and with the lowest clean sheet odds that we've got there. Man United Chelsea is expected to be a very high scoring game. If you are looking at Bruno Fernandes, Cole Palmer, this is still a good week to go and buy them. And then to have a look at my team. So I know some of you think in the comments that I'm only saying this because I really just want interactions. I just want views. I promise you that is not the case. I'm the closest now I have ever been to selling a fully fit Erling Haaland. And that has never been the case for me. I've almost said I don't want to sell him. Now, some of you would say, well, Harry, you could sell Saka to try and get Salah in. But I want Palmer, Saka and Burmo for the long term. Those three are not going anywhere. I have 2 transfer routes this week. Solanke down to Matheus Cunha or Haaland to Cunha and then Mavididi up to Mo Salah. I would say I'm 66% chance that I just do the Solanke move and 33% chance that I do the Haaland Salah move. If in doubt, you're probably best off not selling a player like Haaland unless you're really sure of it. But I do potentially like the idea of keeping Solanke for that Ipswich at home game. I also like the cheap forwards potentially getting close to Haaland, and Salah is a real upgrade in my midfield. If the deadline was in 5 minutes, I would sell Solanke to Cunha. That is what I would do. But I do have 2 transfers. I can do it for free. We're expecting Wood and Gabriel to be available. I have good bench cover. It's not impossible that I decide to sell Erling Haaland this week. I think it's unlikely at 33% chance, but I really think it is possible. Now, some of you will think I'm just doing it for the video, and that's fine if that's the way you think it, but I promise you that is not the case. I don't do that for the videos. It is really where my thinking is at. I'm all over the place in terms of what I want to do, I promise you. So at the moment, I don't think it will be the case, but I'm not ruling it out at all. I haven't made my transfers yet, despite Cunha going up last night, because I just don't know what I wanted to do. If I was certain that I was just doing it because, it's fun, I would have done it last night because Solanke was predicted to drop and Cunha was predicted to rise, but I didn't. I haven't done it yet. So we're not certain on it. Haaland will be captain if I keep him. Salah will be captain if I buy him at the moment. And vice captain is currently on Saka. It could end up on Palmer. It could end up on Brian and Burmo. But Haaland and Salah are most likely to play anyway. So the captaincy is all that really matters. Mykolenko first sub in case Gabriel doesn't play. Semenyo second sub in case any of my attackers don't play. But he does go up against Manchester City, who do have a few injuries though. But I haven't decided. I still think Solanke to Cunha is the most likely, but I'm not ruling out selling Erling Haaland this week. So that is all for the Friday evening final decisions video. There will, of course, be a 2-hour deadline stream on Saturday morning. Make sure you tune in. I will probably be making my transfers live on that stream if I don't make it this evening. Of course, as well, we'll be answering all of your questions. We'll be looking for early team news for Manchester City and for Arsenal as well, and discussing anything we get in the embargoed press conferences or late news this Friday evening as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Drop any questions you have in the comment section down below. I still want to hear about Haaland and Salah. Which are you doing? Are you going both? Are you making a transfer this week? Or are you just holding what you've got? Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you need any final last minute news, again, a reminder to sign up for Lazy FPL. It will be linked in the description down below. Thank you for watching. Any questions you have about your team as well, drop it in the comment section down below. 2,000 likes is the aim. Hopefully I'll see some of you on the stream tomorrow, and I'll be back again very soon.